It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at a trick-taking game called Moons here, in which you are playing cards, following suit, all of those typical trick-taking tropes, in order to collect planet tokens and score those tokens in sets, get the most points, and you win the game. The game is fairly straightforward with a couple of little twists that turn the whole thing on its head. Let me give you a look and then we'll come back and I'll tell you if I think this is a good trick-taking game among all the ones that seem to be coming out lately. Here we go. The objective of the game is to get the most victory points. You're going to be doing that by collecting sets of these tokens right here according to your scorecard there. So if you get one of each of the four kinds, that's 10 victory points every time you do that. If you have at least 3 of the same kind or more, each one of those would be 2 victory points. And then any that are not part of either one of these 2 sets is simply 1 victory point each. All right? So everybody gets one of these. You're going to shuffle up the deck, divvy it out among all the players. And you are also going to give everyone 2 of these asteroid cards. I'm going to talk about these in just a little bit, so I'll just set them here for now. And you have these tokens just to track who the start player is. So I'll also set those aside for now. And then you are ready to begin. The very first thing you're going to do is look through your hand of cards and pick 3 cards that go out in front of you on what they call your tableau. And these are going to set the kinds of tokens you can take when you win a trick. At the beginning of the game, the star player token that I set aside here goes to whoever played the single highest card out in front of them, which is this player right here with an 11. And then you're ready to begin, and then you play some tricks. Very simple. You're going to play a card to the center, and the people around the table have to follow suit if they can, except for an asteroid. You can break suit by playing one of these asteroid cards. I know that these are called asteroids, and these are called asteroids. It's a little confusing, but it's mainly because playing this card gets you one of these. So you could break suit with one of these, but let's say no one's going to do that quite yet. This player is going to play that. This player is going to play that. And then this player over here is going to play the 14, which is the highest card in the suit. They win. What do they get for winning? Well, they get the trick, first of all. And then they can take any one token of something that's in front of them. What they won with doesn't matter. The ones they're allowed to take are these. So let's say they take this one here. They put it in their score pile. Set this one trick aside, and then they lead the next one, all right? And same thing, you play. Everybody has to follow suit if they can. So let's say this player instead is going to play an asteroid card. It lets them take another asteroid. Don't forget, you start with 2 of these. I'll get back to those. This player over here is going to follow that. And then let's say this player over here does not have that suit. So instead, they play that card there. Well, something else happens now. If you break suit, whoever played the lowest card that did not follow the opening suit is going to get a token of that kind on the card. Doesn't matter what's in front of them in this case. They get that one. So in this sample hand here, this player, the winning player, again gets any one of these. So let's say they're going to take this one that matches that. And this player gets one of these as well because it matches the card that they broke suit with. To take this example back just for a second here, let's say this is what had happened. Well, these are both breaking the leading suit, and this player's card is lower, and so instead of that player getting a token, this player gets a matching token. That's it. This is going to continue until everyone has played out all their cards. At the end of that, whoever took the most tricks gets 1 token of their choice. If anyone took no tricks, they also get something. And then you shuffle up and you play again. You play until everyone's been the lead player once. The deck just moves around the board. Or until all the tokens are gone. And then you score. Now, your score, as I said, is based on this little card here. But these asteroids are going to mess with that a little bit. And with a couple of other things. So let's take a look at those right now. All right, you start with 2, as I said, and they come in a couple of different denominations, if you would. There's a couple of different kinds here. So let me just find one of each real quick, and these are actually the same kind. So first thing, let's talk about these two here, which are very similar. This kind lets you trade a card from your hand with a card in someone's tableau, which means you're both going to get a card that's in front of them and give them something new that they're allowed to take now when they win tricks, which does mean you can hurt them, because if I remove this card from there and instead I give them, let's say this was in my hand, I give them that, well, now there's only two kinds of tokens they can take when they win. This one allows you to trade one token that someone's taken with another one you've taken. This one here is going to give the player who plays it the token right here. And this one's going to prevent people from messing with you with these cards. And then lastly, these cards are scoring opportunities that modify the scoring chart. And so, for instance, let's say I have two of these planets and I never got to 3, which would make them 6 points. Well, even with 2, I can already score 4 points instead of just 1 apiece. And so on. And there's a few different kinds of cards like that. The scoring ones are varied and depending, they sort of guide what you should be going for, as you can see there. All right, so that's basically it. Continue playing until the tokens are gone or everyone's been the lead player one time. Figure out what your final score is. Highest score is the winner of the game. So there you have it. That's Moons. Let me get the bad out of the way first. And this is, of course, very much in my opinion here. I don't like the look of the game. I think it's a little too bland. It's a little too uninteresting. I don't think the theme lends itself well to a visual appeal. The tokens are all round bluish things. At least 2 of them are, right? And so I don't like that. You know, I think a different theme on this would have gone a long way towards making it more visually appealing and much more interesting to a wider group of people. I also think the construction quality of the game, while the cards are pretty good quality, the tokens, not so much. I had a few of them as I punched them that ripped the edges off of the board that was holding them in place, the punch board. And so I'm not thrilled with the quality of the production itself. Having said those two things, which again have nothing to do with the gameplay, I will say about the gameplay that I think this is a great trick-taking game. The game's got a fantastic rhythm to it. The game allows you to attempt to do all those things that we tend to enjoy in trick-taking games, like short suit yourself by playing cards in front of you that deplete your hand of some suit, allow you to try to be tricky with your placement, allow you to, come in at the last second and play a card that someone wasn't expecting. All of those fun things are part of this. And then those asteroid cards add a nice amount of flavor and spice into the whole thing, where you can pull a fast one on someone. You have a hidden scoring opportunity, which changes what you maybe are collecting, And I enjoy it. I think it's a good one. Does not outstay its welcome. Works well. I like that there's a second end game trigger. Many trick-taking games, you play one hand per player. Well, in this one, if you play with enough people, the tokens will run out first. And that's the other end game trigger. That could happen. And I like that as well. So this is a solid trick-taking game. I would recommend this one if you are a fan of the genre. And I think it's right up there with the new sort of wave of trick-taking games that feel both classic, traditional, feel like they've been invented, decades ago, and modern and appealing. It reminds me of Diamonds in many ways, the way it feels. I just wish it looked as good as Diamonds, And that's my big caveat there. But having said all that, good trick-taking game. I'm going to give this one a seal of approval. As I said, if you're a fan of the genre, definitely look into it. That's Moons.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.